Hello, my name is Savannah Rivera. I am a government agent and I will be presenting to you the Resilient Bridgeport project. So here's a little overview of the project. The reason for this project is we realized how devastated Bridgeport was after Superstorm Sandy. So the goal is to manage and minimize stormwater flooding, to provide a safe and dry evacuation route, and provide education and resources for pre- and post-superstorm flooding. So during this presentation, I want to present the positive and negative impacts. With any project, unfortunately, there are some negative impacts, but this presentation is to make apparent to you guys that the positive does outweigh the negatives. So the positive environmental impacts. The first one is environmental justice. So this means that there are equal opportunities for flood reduction without discrimination due to race in Bridgeport. All people involved in the project will be spared from psychological effects of flooding such as stress, depression, and PTSD. And the next positive environmental impact is using natural resources. So this protects and enhances already existing ecosystems, which increase water cleanliness for a healthy environment to the Bridgeport community. Here are some negative environmental impacts. So the first is hazardous material. So this project does require construction, so construction workers and nearby public become exposed to dust, contaminated groundwater, fumes, and other hazardous materials that are used during the construction process. This also affects the air quality, the energy, and greenhouse gas emissions. So poor air quality from construction zones can cause respiratory and other health issues to the workers and public. So, as most of you know, a healthy environment creates positive health impacts to the community, and an unhealthy environment creates negative health impacts. So here's how environmental justice provides healthy impacts to the Bridgeport community. So a study was conducted that provides information about the mental health of people after they have been through a storm and dealt with financial burdens as well as PTSD. So by providing education on how to better prepare for storms as well as resources for post-storm damages, Resilient Bridgeport indirectly decreases the risk of PTSD for the community. By using natural resources, currently many geographical regions are dealing with increased disease from ticks and mosquitoes. Part of the epidemic is due to alterations from man in our environment that do not include natural resources, which lead to global warming. So using natural resources actually increases the well-being of the environment by providing more homes for all the local critters while keeping a natural ecosystem that has the same amount of insect to predator ratio, which controls the community's risk for disease. So here are some negative health impacts due to the hazardous materials and air quality, energy, and greenhouse emissions. So as I said before, the emissions from fuel of machines in addition to dust in the air can cause respiratory issues for construction workers as well as bystanders located near the construction zones. So, the first step of an issue is to analyze the problems and how to reduce those negative impacts. So here are some ideas to just deal with the negative issues. So first, the Resilient Bridgeport project aims to monitor the fuel emissions and waste being produced during construction, incorporate and follow federal hazardous waste regulations. The regulations include recycling, composting, controlling dust, monitoring the air, erosion prevention, work zone identifications, proper decontamination, wearing protective gear, and backfill regulation. And also The Resilient Bridgeport project follows a material management plan and the CTDEEP requirements. Lastly, how will we monitor this project? The action will be monitored using the material management plan and the CTDEP requirements. We will have regular follow-ups of site investigation, adhere to site-specific health plans, implement dust control, and apply all necessary regulations to ensure the best possible health for all people directly or indirectly involved. Construction will also take place for limited and appropriate times of day to prevent the amount of people indirectly affected by fuel emissions and other contaminants. Monitoring will be successful if hazardous waste and air quality is less when compared to similar projects in construction zones. And my last major point is that construction is also temporary, so the negative consequences from construction will only last during the span of construction. So the huge take-home point is that there are negative effects from the project, but the positives are prolonged and will enhance the life of people in the Bridgeport community for years to come. So thank you for considering the Resilient Bridgeport project. I look forward to hearing your feedback.